The tunnel behind you is gone. Timber, shale, and coal have sealed the only road back to the shaft. Every few seconds, small stones fall from the roof. The mine is still moving around you. The air tastes of dust. The lamp is weak. And somewhere beyond the collapse, methane may still be waiting. This is not one recorded accident. It is a plausible survival simulation inside a British coal mine in the late 1870s. To understand your chances below, you first have to understand what a normal shift demanded. Before sunrise, you report to the colliery with your own food, basic tools, and clothing that offers little real protection. Your lamp is more than light. Its flame can warn of dangerous gas, but only if the lamp remains intact and correctly used. Then the cage drops, carrying men, tools, and lamps into a shaft that swallows the daylight in seconds. The descent is noisy, wet, and fast enough to make the timber guides shudder beside your shoulders. At the pit bottom, the mine opens into a system of roadways, doors, tracks, pumps, and passages cut through darkness. The coal face may still be a long walk away, over uneven ground where one bad step can end the shift. Some passages are so low that you cannot stand. You move bent double, then crawl, dragging tools beside you. The roof above is held by timber props placed wherever experience says the rock needs support. Those props are not permanent walls. They can shift, split, or become useless when the rock pressure changes. Air reaches the workings through a planned circuit of shafts, doors, and cloth or timber barriers that guide the current. If a door stays open or a barrier fails, the air can take the easier route and abandon the men deeper inside. Methane, called firedamp, can escape from the coal itself. Mixed with air, it becomes an invisible explosive threat. The safety lamp contains the flame behind fine metal gauze. It reduces ignition risk, but it does not make the mine harmless. Other bad air can simply deprive the body of oxygen or carry poisonous gases. The first warning may be weakness or a fading flame. Meanwhile, every blow of the pick releases more coal dust into an enclosed space. The dust coats your mouth, food, skin, and lungs. A cloth can catch some particles, but it cannot supply clean air. The floor is rarely dry. Water seeps through rock, gathers in hollows, and runs towards sumps and pumps. If pumps fail or old workings are breached, that water can become a moving wall with nowhere else to go. Rats and mice survive on crumbs, horse feed, and the warmth of the workings. They are pests, not reliable warning instruments. Pit ponies haul loaded tubs through roadways where the clearance between animal, timber, and rail can be dangerously small. A derailed tub can crush a foot, block a passage, or damage the ventilation route behind it. Even lunch has to be protected from dust and rodents, often inside a tightly closed metal tin. There is no clean canteen below, no warm shower at the pit head, and no easy way to remove the dirt during the shift. Hours of crouching, lifting, and swinging a pick make fatigue part of the hazard. Judgment weakens before the work stops. Experienced miners test the roof by sight, sound, and touch, searching for loose stone before it falls. Where the roof looks doubtful, timber has to be set before more coal is removed. Near the middle of the shift, a sharp crack runs through the roof above the working face. Then the flame in one lamp grows taller. It is a warning that the air has changed. The correct response is to withdraw and restore ventilation. But underground decisions are shaped by distance, production, and uncertainty. A ventilation door farther back has jammed partly open, weakening the current that should sweep gas away. Fine coal dust lies on ledges, sleepers, and timbers. If flame reaches it, a local blast can become far more destructive. Somewhere in another district, a shot is being prepared to break stubborn coal or stone. In this atmosphere, ignition control is everything. The warning signal is given. Men move back along the roadway. Then the mine strikes first. The first blast is over in seconds. Its pressure races through roadways faster than anyone can react. Your lamp goes out. The roof answers with a deeper crack. A section of roadway collapses between your group and the shaft, piling rock, coal, rails, and timber into a solid barrier. For a moment, nobody speaks. The first task is not escape. It is counting who can move, who can breathe, and what equipment still works. A broken arm or crushed leg would change every decision. Even without major injury, shock can make a man useless. You have 2 functioning lamps, a pick, a short shovel, some food, and less water than anyone expected to need. The lamps are not torches to wave around. They are light, time, and information about the air around you. No one should relight an open flame. After an explosion, disturbed gas may be moving through damaged ventilation routes. A damp cloth may reduce the dust entering your mouth, but it will not stop methane, carbon monoxide, or oxygen loss. Panic increases breathing. Faster breathing uses more oxygen and pulls more dust into the lungs. You listen for moving air, a faint draft on wet skin, a fluttering cloth edge, or dust drifting consistently in one direction. One branch feels still and heavy. Another carries the weakest breath of air from somewhere beyond the old workings. The mine is partly a map in your memory. Turns, doors, inclines, stables, sumps, and abandoned passages learned over years. But an old roadway may be collapsed, flooded, or filled with bad air. Memory gives options, not safety. Water now begins to cross the rails from a damaged drainage channel. The level is rising slowly, but steadily. Drinking that water could create another problem. It may contain coal slurry, minerals, waste, and contamination from the workings. The rats are moving, but they do not know your route to the surface. Following them would be guesswork. The roof makes a hollow ticking sound near the collapse. Disturbing the debris could bring the rest down. Instead of digging straight into the largest fall, you search the sides for a narrow gap beside intact timber. A spare timber and several wedges can strengthen one weak point, but every hammer blow sends vibration into the roof. The injured man can crawl, but only slowly. That makes a narrow escape route possible and a retreat much harder. Farther in, the reserve lamp begins to burn lower. The air is changing again. The men advance only a few meters before dizziness, and the lamp warns them to turn back. Bad air cannot be beaten by courage. They retreat to the junction where the faint draft still reaches them. Now the real decision becomes clear. Wait near the best air, or risk the unstable side passage before water rises higher. Above ground, there are no modern rescue vehicles or self-contained breathing sets waiting for this Victorian emergency. Rescue depends on fellow miners, officials, ventilation repairs, timber work, and the willingness to enter a damaged pit. Below, the trapped men strike metal against rail in a repeated pattern, then stop and listen. At first, there is only dripping water and the groan of timber. Then a faint answer travels through the rail. 3 distant blows, separated by long pauses. The rescuers are close enough to hear, but the collapse between you may still take hours to clear. Every basket of debris removed changes the load on what remains above. A secondary fall sends dust through the gap and forces both sides to stop again. The trapped group moves uphill by a few meters, away from rising water and closer to the weak airflow. They choose a position beneath the best supported roof, not directly beside the collapse. One lamp is extinguished to preserve oil. The other remains the air monitor and the only working light. Water reaches the rail heads below them. The mine is now measuring time in inches. Using loose boards and coal blocks, they raise food, tools, and the unlit lamp above the damp floor. The active lamp is protected from falling water, impact, and careless hands. Damaging it could remove both warning and light. At last, a narrow opening appears through the fall. Dust moves toward it. Fresh air does not mean the passage is safe. The opening must be enlarged and supported before a man can enter. The injured miner goes first only if the route is wide enough and someone can receive him on the other side. One by one, the others pass through, carrying the lamps last, so the opening remains lit until nobody is left behind. The walk to the shaft is slow. Damaged doors, displaced rails, and pockets of bad air still divide rescue from safety. At the pit bottom, the cage is the first machine that finally points upward. When the cage rises, cold surface air enters before daylight does. After hours underground, even that feels unreal. Survival did not come from strength alone. It came from reading the lamp, respecting the roof, conserving resources, and refusing a fatal shortcut. Victorian mines killed through explosion, collapse, flood, machinery, dust, and bad air. Often, several threats arrived together. If the roof sealed your exit and the air began to fail, would you know which danger to face first?